In this episode, we'll be riding in the Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park, summiting Ben Lomond, the Cobbler, Stob Binnien, Ben Moore, Ben Lors, Ben Ghlas, and exploring the up-and-coming riding spot of Balquidder. 3, 2, 1, drop it! My name is Scotty Laughland and this is Scotty's Scotland Showcase. This season we're going on some big adventures, exploring parts of Scotland I didn't know existed and discovering some amazing single track. The Trossachs could be said to be my big mountain playground. I can reach them in under 20 minutes from Stirling. Mountain biking is pretty limited in the Trossachs. There's all these big mountain summits. Some of them are inaccessible by bike, some of them are challenging to get to, and others offer this incredible descent.
The bike wouldn't even turn, it just got stuck.
It's not really explored, it's not documented, and I wanted to get out there and see for myself what was actually there.
Absolutely insane.
We're starting off our exploration of the Trossachs by summiting Ben Lomond, the most southerly Munro in Scotland with an elevation of 974 metres. It's pretty much a hike-a-bike straight from the shores of Loch Lomond to the summit, and it's an absolutely stunning journey.
It's been 6.28k to here. We've been going for 2 hours 15 minutes. Warm bit. It's actually blistering cold and very windy, and we're on the wrong ridgeline. If we're over there, golden beautiful light, here we're in the shade and the sun's just behind those clouds.
It's absolutely beautiful at the top, panoramic 360 degrees. You're looking onto the Arrochar Alps, you're looking onto the Trossachs, you're looking back to my hometown of Stirling, and when we were there, the sun was setting, just glistening and just so beautiful. You've got Loch Lomond right below you and just this really incredible backdrop for riding your mountain bike on.
Here we go!
The descent on Ben Lomond is the same as what we climbed. It's technical, rocky, and in sections fast. Ben Lomond's a pretty easy Munro to ride. It's easy to get to the top. The descent has some really challenging sections in it, but it's pretty fast and flowing. It's also just a really nice one. You know you're pretty close to everything. You've got phone signal. It's accessible. You get big views. You get that big mountain riding feeling, and it's just a really epic day out.
What a place to finish a ride. My backdrop right there is Ben Lomond, and today we're climbing up the Cobbler.
The access to the Cobbler was pretty easy going. You could pedal parts of it, you were pushing. There were some little trialsy hops where you're working your way through streams and crossings and undulating sections. All of a sudden it just got so challenging. It went from being able to ride to the bike was on your back and you're actually struggling. In fact, I'd almost say you were actually scrambling up to the top, up to the summit, and there was a few challenging moments in there having the bike on your back where, you know, I was using all my strength just to get up to the next bit, almost using the bike as a lever to hold me into position in some places.
Absolutely insane. Can't decide whether it's the highest stupidity or complete brilliance. But it is pretty epic up here. Like the sheer towers of rock are just unbelievable. when I was looking on Komoot. The Cobbler is also called Ben Arthur. So there's obviously like these little ridges have all got different names. Pretty mad.
So we summited to this little cairn and then carried on climbing up to what we believe is called Arthur's Seat. You've got magnificent views across the Trossachs again onto the Arrochar Alps.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So stoked to see this and just experience it by bike.
And just sat there on your bike, you're looking at the trail ahead. It's pretty challenging.
Okay, dropping off the Cobbler.
I dropped in and there's a few loose sections where it was just moving beneath me. It was really tight. You're trying to make basically your own trail. You're hopping the bike, going really slow and just trying to use as much momentum to keep the bike controlled and moving forward. And yeah, at times it was pretty scary. I was on the edge of just being able to ride it and no more. It had consequence of being quite dangerous if I did come off, just because there's so many sharp pointy rocks, and I was pretty glad to get through it. I think I did just 1 or 2 dabs in the end, and I was pretty stoked with that. So we got back to the cairn where we'd started and climbed up to, and then I was looking up and saw this ginormous rock slab, and I was like, I don't know if this will be rideable, I'm not sure. I shouted to Robin, I was like, get the drone up, we need to try and get this shot now. Sitting there looking around me, the drone's in position, and I was like, right, I'm gonna drop in, see how much I can ride, maybe even just creep over the edge where it gets super steep. And then I was just like, right, no, I've 100% got to go for it and committed to it.
Here we go.
My ass was right over the back. It was actually touching the tire. It was so steep, and I was just skidding down it, looking for points where I could brake, that I might be able to abandon the bike. Luckily, managed to control it. It probably doesn't even look that steep on camera, but it is one of the steepest sections of trail I've ever ridden.
That was terrifying. Genuinely one of the gnarliest things I think I've ridden.
Once we'd done the rock slab, we joined back onto what would be the main access path. At that point in my head, we had potentially the idea of going up another Munro. We decided against that and just used the main tourist path. The main tourist path turned out to be a really fun flowing descent. Ahead of you, you had big views of Ben Lomond. Behind you, you had the Cobbler, and the path was just really fun. Loads of natural features, good turns, nice rocky sections, and it took you all the way back down to where we started from.
What a great spot to end yet another ride.
A Munro, like Ben Lomond, is a Scottish mountain with an elevation of more than 3,000 feet, and there are 282 of them. A Corbett, like the Cobbler, is a Scottish mountain, over 2,500 feet and under 3,000 feet, and there are 221 summits of them. Some of these mountains work as amazing descents, some of them don't. Today we'll be summiting 2 mountains, Stob Binnien and Ben More. We'll start off just along from Balquidder. It's a beautiful lochside drive, and today it's going to be an up and over mission, so we've arranged a shuttle to be waiting for us at the other end. Out of the van, you were straight into the ascent. It was steep, but you were gaining your elevation so quickly. It was soft underfoot, you weren't pedaling, and it was hike a bike from basically start to finish.
The midges are out in force, the clouds have come in, it's dry, and there is not a breath of wind. Absolutely perfect conditions for riding. We've arrived at our first summit of the day, Stob Corrie. You can see the path that we're going to go up that ridgeline, up to Stob Binnien, down Stob Binnien, and then up to Ben More. And it is absolutely epic up here. The view here is insane. I can't wait to see what it's like up at Stob Binnien. Here we are then, at the summit of Stob Binnien. Absolutely incredible up here. The panoramic views are incredible. All the way back there you can see right to Ben Lomond. Up that way you can see to Glencoe. On a really clear day you'll be able to see Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in Scotland. And ahead of us we've got an amazing looking ridgeline to descend down. So what are we waiting for? Let's get ready to drop in. The ridgeline of Stob Binnien. We wanted to do this one for a while. As you can see, it is pretty technical.
The ridge on Stob Binnien was something that I've been wanting to ride for so long. It's got this jaggedy peak. You can see the ridgeline from the road as you're driving north, and you're right on the edge of it. You don't really feel the exposure so much, but what you do feel is the gradient of the trail. It kind of zigzags its way down the ridgeline, and when you're actually looking back on yourself down the fall line, you can see how steep it is, and it's not somewhere really that you want to come off. It's technical, it's tight, there's big rocky features that you're rolling through, the bike's working, you're working, you've got to focus on the trail, and it's just such a good feeling riding from the top of it and then finishing down at the bottom.
That was an epic descent. I mean, look at the trail that we've just come down. Absolutely incredible. And I don't think the camera in any way will do it justice for just how technical it is. Some of the switchbacks, you're dropping off rocks into them, doing French turns around them. They're just absolutely insane. And now we're on our way to Summit Ben More.
Made it! We got to the top and the views had actually gotten better than when we were on Stob Binnien. We could see clearly Ben Nevis. It was just a glorious day to be in the mountains.
About to drop into the trail. The amount of walkers who have been amazed and surprised that I'm going to do this, so I'm not too sure what to expect. It could go one of two ways. It could be absolutely brilliant, or it could be terrifying, or it could just be downright rubbish. Dropping!
You're almost like riding and traversing round off the summit, and it was, in sections, really cool. It was fun to ride, it was challenging, it had that exposure. It gave you that fear, but that conscious feeling of just being able to look ahead on the trail, look down it, and focus on that. You weren't thinking about anything else but riding your bike. Then it got to a point where it was so narrow, I couldn't even get my pedals through, and that's when I had to stop.
The bike wouldn't even turn, it just got stuck.
We did a little bit of down hiking, we rode some sections again were impossible, and then we eventually reached the step section where it was just horrible to ride. It was rough, it was bumpy, there was water running down the steps, it became slippy, and it wasn't an enjoyable ride back down. In fact, when I got to the tarmac, I was so relieved to have made it off that section of trail.
I'll be honest, I've never been so excited to see Fire Road before. That was brutal in places.
Got to the bottom, we met the girls, gave Izzy a big cuddle, was relieved to be back down there, and we got our shuttle back round.
That was a seriously hard descent.
Stob Binnien, I'd 100% do again. Benmore, probably wouldn't recommend it. You can actually bypass Benmore, and with a little bit more research, I guess that's what we should have done, but I'm stoked to have ridden off the summit, ridden the sections of trail that we did, and I can tick that one off. The next Munro, or should I say Munros that we'll be summiting, is Ben Ghlas and Ben Lomond. This is one that I hear so many people talking about. I've never done it myself, and I'm excited to go and check it out. The ascent started off with a section that you could ride, transitioned into hike a bike.
It's all scary when you're walking up a trail and looking at what you're going to be descending, but you know, just up there, the camera probably doesn't even do it justice, but it's seriously steep, it's rocky, it's stepped, the consequences are high, but it's just a style of trail that I absolutely love riding. And I can't believe that this is so close to my house and I've never done it before. And we've reached our first summit of the day, Ben Ghlas, and you can see where we're going, which is Ben Lomond, right up there. And it looks a pretty epic trail. The scenery is just amazing.
The ridgeline off Ben Ghlas to the saddle of Ben Lomond was just a really nice descent. It was a warm-up really for the day, had some fun sections, some little hops you could do, some nice rock rolls, and it was just a natural bit of trail that was really enjoyable to ride.
The last little bit of hike-a-bike to the summit, which is just up there. Made it! Second Munro of the day, Ben Lomond. And what an absolutely incredible view, 360 degrees.
Descending off Ben Lomond was pretty challenging. It was a really narrow starting point. You dropped into some kind of fadeaways where you couldn't see what was ahead of you. There was a bit of exposure. Eventually you met the path that was under construction. It was stepped and there was drainage ruts going in, and it was actually pretty challenging to ride.
We've come down Ben Lomond, which you can see just there behind me. It was steep, it was techy, there's a lot of steps in it that make it really challenging to ride on a bike. We've climbed back up, we're at the summit of Ben Ghlas, which we were on earlier, and now we've got what looked to be an absolutely amazing descent. Can't wait to drop in.
You're into technical sections, there's some really fun switchbacks, and then all of a sudden there is some serious exposure. There's exposure like I've never seen before. I walked up and down this one section trying to mark out my line. Your tires had to be precise and you had no room for error. Then you meet the ridgeline, and from there it's just beautiful, fun, flowing single track with really nice turns all the way back to the car park. Balquidder is a growing mountain bike destination. It's got its own little trail association and it's got some really fun trails. The trails are hand cut in the forest, they make use of the rock and create some really interesting features. The most recent addition is a trail called Yeti. There's loads of features in it, big slabs of rock, and it's just really fun. Hobo gets its name from a local residents of Balquidder. It's a fun trail, you're riding through this beautiful forest, there's some nice turns. And then at the bottom there's this ginormous rock that they've actually recently made into a feature. You have to hop onto it, ride along, and then pull up off the end. Hippie's kind of the classic original trail. It starts in the woods at the top, makes its way down, and towards the bottom you've got some really fun, fast, flowy man-made turns. Big mountains, views across Scotland, technical terrain and beautiful lochs. That's the Trossachs. They're often overlooked as a riding destination, but are a playground for any mountain lover. To be able to ride in locations like this is a privilege and one that requires respect to the environment we're in and how we ride where we are. If you do want to ride any of these routes for yourself, then you can find the link in the description to my komoot collection where you'll be able to follow turn for turn. In the next episode, we're going on an epic. Starting in Bridge of Orchy, we'll take a train to Carrow Station and from there ride to Fort William.